Hmm? Hmm.
Get ready to sing your soap time.
Hi, I'm Sage.
I'm Luke.
So, what have you guys been involved in here at West?
Mostly music. I did a lot of band and some choir, and music theory was a really fun class that I took. I kind of helped build the ski team back up because it was a really small club when we came here, and then I recruited a whole bunch of kids. Well, not a whole bunch, it's still a small team, but I kind of helped build that back up, and I've tried out for some other sports like water polo and track, but ski team is probably my favorite sport, and band's my favorite other activity.
Same. Music. The musical, Pit. I'm not cool. I don't do any sports like her. Didn't start any cool sports, but yeah, a lot of music stuff. Jazz band.
Yeah.
So, would you guys say that those have been your favorite experiences in high school, or were there other things that you guys were associated with or like got to be a part of that were like, wow, that really kind of set the bar up for me in terms of like things that I wanted to do with my life or whatever?
That was mostly it for me. It was music, but also started up improv recently. The improv club. I thought that was pretty cool. Yesterday I did it for my first time. It's pretty cool, but most of my great experiences for music, at least.
Yeah, a lot of my good experiences have been through music, although, like, I guess this is still music, but like going to the honor bands and stuff, that really helped me realize that I wanted to keep going with music in my life. And there's one other thing, but I can't remember what it was.
So, were you guys a part of youth symphonies too, or were you guys limited to like West Albany High School's band?
Oh.
Well, I did a junior honor symphony my freshman year and my 8th grade year, but then I got to be too old, and I never tried out for anything else. And then I went to All-State and Wibbick, which was a lot of fun.
Same with me. I did 8th grade, junior symphony, with the Wibbick honor bands, the state bands, anything she's done pretty much.
So, what instruments do you all play?
Oh, you go first. You got a long list.
Okay. I primarily play flute. I played piano for about 9 to 10 years, and then I stopped to focus on flute, which is kind of funny because they don't actually really focus on flute, because I also play tenor sax in jazz band, and I double on oboe and English horn in wind ensemble when they need it.
And I play trumpet and and a little bit of percussion. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
didn't mention that, but
So, what made you guys choose those instruments?
When I tried out for band in 6th grade, my aunt had a flute because she played flute a long time ago, and I was like, hey, this is cool, I already have a flute. So I practiced before my auditions to like see what instrument fits you, and I was like, I can make a sound on flute. So then I started playing flute.
when I was in 5th grade, the WAS band, jazz band, came and played for our elementary school, and I instantly, like, the instrument that stuck to me was definitely the trumpet. And when we went to try out our instruments, they encouraged me not to play trumpet, actually, but because there's so many people that want to play it, but trumpet was definitely the one I wanted to do.
So, from high school, what were your favorite classes and teachers?
Wow.
Welsh and band mostly, but I'm seeing a common theme. I also really like Mr. Condren and AP Calculus and AP Physics. They're really fun and interesting, and yeah, they're really hard classes, but it's really interesting, and I'm thinking that I'm going to study math or engineering, partly because of the good experience I had in calculus and physics.
Definitely band with Welsh, and I really like psychology with Hartman. Yeah, those are basically I don't really like much other classes. A lot of good teachers, just not really good subjects.
So we know that you two are heavily involved in the music programs here at West. Have you guys ever done anything like regarding music or another activity that's outside of West?
It's not music.
Or it can be music, like another activity or music that's outside of West, like beyond the West.
I did Taekwondo for a really long time. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I trained for 7 years and did a day-long pentathlon to get my black belt, and so that's a big part of who I am.
I suck at everything, really. I just music.
It's not true.
Music. Can you think of anything for me? I don't know. Music. We do so much outside of music in our school with music that
Like
that we don't really have time for other things besides music, really. So it's besides her black belt training.
Well, that's okay though, because you guys are good at it and it's something you're passionate about. So my understanding is that you guys went to Europe with your music. Tell me about that experience.
The middle of last year, or the beginning of last year or something, we got a little packet in the mail that said, come to Europe with a whole bunch of students from Oregon, and then Mr. Walsh told us that he was also going on the trip, and that was really exciting, and so I did a lot of fundraising, and there were 8 of us from our school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Luke and me and
A lot of other people.
yeah, a lot of other people like Rachel
alumni.
and some alumni. And we went to Europe with about 150 to 200 kids.
I thought it was 100. Well, no, it was 150 in
it's
band.
close to that.
But, yeah.
On a band and choir trip, and we went to. We flew into London, and it was a 17-day trip or something?
16.
16, yeah. And we flew into London, and then we went through Paris and Switzerland, and we got to drive down to Venice for a day trip, and we stayed in Austria.
Stopped for lunch in
Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein, smaller than this room. So.
Yeah. And we got to perform in a lot of cool places. I think definitely for me the highlight of that trip was actually I was in the choir, and I got to sing in Venice in St. Mark's Square, which was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it really kind of like, I guess, opening up new doors for you, seeing that you could travel with music, or is that something that you guys always knew? And I was like, oh, I'm going to become a musician because I can go to Europe later.
Well, it was definitely a bonus of being a musician, like of being in band and playing an instrument and stuff, but it wasn't like, I don't know, at least for me, it didn't really change my view on music. I mean, it was an amazing experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it didn't, I guess I already feel really connected to music beforehand. It just expanded the possibilities.
That's also because we went like on trips though to like Idaho for jazz festivals and stuff before. So Mr. Welsh had already introduced before we went to Europe the past summer to traveling all over America. And so, I mean, so or West Coast, I guess, but it sounds cooler to say America.
All over America to Idaho.
And I've been to Europe and.
So then, in terms of academics at school, balancing between band and choir and other activities like that, and academics can be really challenging. Is there any advice that you would give to others, or maybe like to your past selves, like your sophomore self or your freshman self, regarding academics and balancing it all out?
Freshman and sophomore year, don't come in thinking you're all that, because I didn't do good in school at all with freshman and sophomore year, besides band, because I just didn't care, and I'm regretting that greatly now as a senior, and I'm getting better grades now, but it destroys you to do bad when you first get into school, so start well or you're not going to end well.
But on the other side of the coin, I'm a valedictorian candidate, and I kind of wish that I wasn't worried so much about grades, like especially sophomore and junior year. I had a lot of homework, and I spent a lot of time doing things that they matter in terms of getting good grades and stuff. Like I spent a lot of time doing homework, and I spent a lot of time studying and because of that, I gave up time spending time with my friends, and I gave up time practicing and doing things that are really will have a lasting effect on me. And I almost wish that I'd gotten to be like freshman or sophomore year, so that I could really practice and enjoy the things that are going to last and matter, rather than the things that don't matter that much. I mean, being valedictorian is great, but there's like 19 of us right now or whatever, and it's not really anything different than having a 3 9, 3.9 GPA.
So with that said, is there anything that you would tell your freshmen, like aside from academics? Because obviously, you would tell your freshman self, hey, don't be so blasé about schoolwork, and you would tell yourself, be more blasé about schoolwork.
Yeah.
But
Be somewhere in between us, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be a combination of Sage and Luke for the rest of your life. A lage? I like that. I actually really, really like that. Is there anything else you would tell your freshman self, like, hey, get more involved, or hey, don't worry so much about what you wear, or anything like that?
Definitely get involved in everything you possibly can, because I feel like I missed out on a couple of experiences, because I've been until my upperclassmen years that I didn't do much with traveling and doing cool stuff, so definitely get into it as soon as possible and get as many great experiences as you can when you can.
Yeah. Go to dances. Have fun. Do all the little things that don't really seem like they matter. If you don't do the little things, then when something big comes along, like a really great opportunity like going to Europe or something, you won't have practice just going out there and doing stuff and getting involved. So get involved, but don't overbook yourself. I don't know, just balance. Yeah.
So, do you have any tricks of the trade that you'd like to share with us, particularly me? Because I'm always looking for a set of tricks about balancing between academics and extracurriculars, or things that have worked with you.
I don't know. Set goals for yourself, and then set high goals for yourself, but then once you have that goal set, don't try and overachieve your own goals, because for me, if I set a goal to get an A in a class, I'm not going to freak out because I have a 95 instead of a 98. Go for a 93%. It sounds really bad, but it's true, because if you spend all that time worrying about the difference between 93 and 95, or 95 and 98, in a class that you're not going to have any trouble with the final or whatever, then don't worry about it. Don't stress it.
Yeah. Nothing else to say about that one.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
good.
So, did you ever have an aha moment where everything clicked, or you kind of realized what you wanted to do with the rest of your life, or what you wanted to do with high school specifically, or with friends or relationships?
Actually, this year I went to WIBIC, and before I went to WIBIC this year, WIBIC is the Western International Honor Band, or International Band Conference or something. It's a big band conference in Seattle. And I went to WIBIC, and I was really prepared to keep playing music in college, and not study it intensively, and not make it a primary course of study, and not really go into a future with a lot of music besides recreational kind of. And I was going to study math or engineering. And then I went to WIBIC, and I had a really great experience with one of the guest conductors. I don't really know why it clicked, but I realized that I couldn't imagine a time in my life where I wasn't playing in an ensemble. And so I decided that I had to study music. Even if I studied it in conjunction with something else, I was going to keep going with music.
How about you, Luke?
Mine also is at WIBIC.
That's a great place.
It's a very fun place, Seattle. Because every year there's this really, really famous composer that gets to come, and he gets to conduct us, that's just like a football player having, I don't know,
an NFL coach?
an NFL coach come and coach them for an entire, I guess not for an entire year, but for a day, coach them for a day. And that's a huge experience. And Frank DeKelly is a big time composer.
Yeah.
And I was always into music, but when he came, he just gave something about him, he's just a normal person just like me, and it just kind of clicked, and I was just like, wow, I could do this too. And he kind of inspired me to keep wanting to go with music.
So then what are your future plans after graduation, which is in a couple weeks now?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Kind of surreal.
I'm going to the OSU Honors College, and I'm going to double major in music and either math or engineering. I'm not sure which. I think I want to go into alternative energy as a career, but I want to major in music so that I can have the proficiency to play at a really, really high level.
How about you, Luke? Do you know what you want to, where you're going, or what you want to study at?
I'm going to, I'm dual enrolling at LBCC and OSU. I'm doing prereqs at LBCC, and I'm doing the music program at OSU. And for some reason, music keeps holding on, so I feel like music education is something I really want to strive for. And if it doesn't work out, I really enjoy psychology as well, so I could either put the two together and do a job, or just go straight for psychology and become a psychiatrist or something. And yeah.
Excellent. So, do you have any last-minute thoughts or comments or bye-byes or anything of that sort?
Stay classy.
Yeah.
Don't they say that every announcement or
Yeah.
something? So I
Stay
guess I
classy,
have to do it.
West Albany. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Classic
good.
line.
Yeah.
Do you have any message to your peers about the future ahead?
Stay classy. Oh. Sorry, those are used.
Have fun. Don't give up what matters for what doesn't matter as much. You know.
Oh yeah, and don't be afraid to, like, I know this is gonna sound really cheesy. Don't be afraid to, like, be yourself, and, like, I know everybody says it, but don't be afraid to, like, when you come to high school, we do a lot of really cheesy things here that wouldn't work unless you just go for it. So if you ever think of something like, oh, I don't want to do that because I will be judged, just do it, because chances are it's going to be something really cool, and everybody will think it's really cool. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty accepting here, so.
Right. Well, thank you guys for coming
Yeah.
in.
No
Yep,
problem.
thank you.